Welcome. Before you drift off to sleep tonight, please take a gentle moment to subscribe to the channel. Tonight, we are journeying back to late medieval Provence around the year 1380 to spend a quiet evening with a lady-in-waiting, as the first snowfall settles softly upon a cottage roof. So settle in, pull your blankets close, and let us begin. Imagine, if you will, a narrow lane winding through a Provençal village, where thatched and tiled roofs bear a delicate dusting of new snow. The world is hushed, the air tinged with the sweet scent of wood smoke and lavender. Within a cozy stone cottage, golden candlelight peeks through leaded glass, and the gentle hush of the outside world settles like a blanket. Tonight, we step quietly into the gentle, contemplative daily life of a lady-in-waiting, where every moment is imbued with grace, reflection, and a sense of quiet purpose. Picture a modest cottage nestled at the edge of a castle's walled orchard, its roof now adorned with a light, feathery layer of snow. The stone walls are warm from the day's sun, the mortar etched with time. Inside, our lady-in-waiting begins her evening, softly unfastening the ties of her heavy woolen cloak. Its moss-green threads, hand-dyed with nettle and sage, feel rough yet familiar beneath her fingertips, a comforting weight after a day of gentle duties. The fire in the hearth glows low, casting shadows that flicker and dance upon the tapestry-strewn walls. The scent of beeswax and rosemary drifts through the air, soothing and earthy. She sets her cloak upon a wooden peg, the fabric making a gentle, whispering sound, and gazes out through the small window at the silent fall of snow, feeling a quiet kinship with the world's hush. The lady's hands, fine yet strong from years of embroidery and herb gathering, move to the woven linen apron at her waist. She unties it with practiced ease, the fabric soft from many washings and faintly scented with lavender from the drying racks above. The apron's hem brushes the flagstone floor, a gentle, familiar touch, like a mother's hand upon a child's brow. Over her gown of muted rose, the linen adds a gentle warmth, a barrier against the cool that seeps through old stone. She pauses at the hearth, feeling the heat upon her skin, watching the slow curl of steam rise from a small copper kettle hung over the embers. A handful of dried chamomile and mint, gathered in sunlit fields, waits in a ceramic bowl upon the table, promising comfort in a soon-to-be-brewed cup of tea. Outside, the world has quieted as dusk deepens. The garden, once vibrant with the blush of late autumn roses, now lies dormant beneath its pale, snowy quilt. Through the window, the lady-in-waiting watches snowflakes settle on the neat rows of rosemary, thyme, and sage, their green tips peeking bravely above the white. Birds have retreated to the safety of ivy-covered walls. The only sound is the soft tap of flakes against the glass, a gentle rhythm, as if Mother Nature herself is whispering lullabies to the earth. The lady lights another beeswax candle, its flame steady and golden, the scent mingling with the herbal air. She breathes deeply, savoring the momentous small act of grace, the simple lighting of a candle, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. She moves through the cottage with a purposeful grace, her footsteps muffled by thick woolen socks, hand-knitted by her own mother. Each step upon the uneven flagstones is a familiar journey, a quiet map traced daily. She pauses at a wooden chest carved with delicate vines and tiny birds. Lifting the lid, she reveals spools of dyed thread, ribbons of silk, and scraps of velvet saved from the mistress' old gowns. Her fingers hover over soft blue silks and mossy greens, feeling for the right weight and texture. Tonight, she chooses a length of pale golden thread, spun from the summer's flax. The thread glimmers in the firelight, promising beauty as she prepares to complete her embroidery, a small sachet for her mistress' wardrobe, soon to be filled with dried lavender and rose petals, a token of care and friendship. The embroidery hoop smooth, old walnut rests upon the table, its wood warm to the touch from many evenings of diligent work. She stretches a square of ivory linen across it, the fabric taut as a drum. Each stitch is a mindful meditation, the needle slipping through cloth with a gentle, satisfying resistance. She listens to the rhythm, the soft whisper of thread, the quiet tap of the needle against the hoop. Outside, snow continues to fall, cloaking the world in silence, but inside, this small act of creation brings color and life. As she embroiders, she remembers stories told by her own mother, tales of women passing skills from hand to hand, heart to heart, in a long, unbroken chain. The lady smiles softly, feeling herself a vital link in that chain, her quiet artistry a thread weaving past and present together. The hearth's warmth radiates through the cottage, wrapping the lady-in-waiting in its gentle embrace. The firewood, stacked earlier, gives off a comforting, resinous scent: pine, oak, and a hint of applewood. The flames flicker, casting patterns on the low ceiling beams, highlighting the woven basket of apples and pears that sits beside the table. She takes one, feeling its cool, dimpled skin against her palm, and sets it aside for later, perhaps to slice and stew with honey and cinnamon, a simple comfort on a winter's eve. For now, she returns to her embroidery, fingers nimble and sure, eyes softened by the golden candlelight. Each new row of stitches forms a tiny flower, a promise of spring nestled in the long heart of winter. The snow outside thickens, but inside, every detail glows with warmth and care. Across the cottage, a simple wooden shelf holds jars of herbs, each labeled in careful script: sage for strength, rosemary for memory, lavender for peace. She runs her fingertip along the cool glass of each jar, recalling the summer afternoon spent gathering, drying, and sorting in the sun-dappled garden. The memory carries with it the drone of bees, the brush of linen against her bare arms, the laughter of kitchen maids. She selects a pinch of dried lavender, its scent fresh and sweet, and sprinkles it into the sachet she embroiders. The fragrance unfurls, mingling with the subtle perfume of beeswax and wood smoke. She smiles, thinking of her mistress' delight at this small, thoughtful gift. Outside, the snow has covered the cobblestones, softening every edge, turning the world into a gentle place of wonder. A gentle knock sounds at the door, a soft, familiar rhythm. It is the kitchen girl, bearing a small loaf of bread, still warm from the oven. The lady-in-waiting thanks her with a kind word and a smile, admiring the golden crust, speckled with caraway and sesame. The kitchen girl blushes, her cheeks rosy from the cold, and accepts a sprig of rosemary in exchange, a token of gratitude. Once alone, the lady breaks the loaf open, savoring the cloud of steam and the nutty, yeasted aroma. She slices a piece, spreads it with fresh churned butter, and lets the warmth and richness melt upon her tongue. The simple act of sharing and enjoying bread feels like a small celebration, a quiet affirmation of the goodness woven into daily life, even as the snow falls on in silent, endless wonder outside. The cottage grows quieter as evening deepens. Shadows lengthen, and the world outside is reduced to shades of silver and blue. The fire crackles softly, its warmth the heartbeat in the room. The lady-in-waiting sips her herbal tea, the steam curling gently around her face, carrying notes of mint and chamomile. She closes her eyes for a moment, feeling the tension slip from her shoulders. In this lull, she listens to the snow's gentle hush, the distant toll of the abbey bell, and the soft breathing of a nearby cat curled in a basket by the hearth. The peacefulness settles over her, a gentle invitation to rest and reflection. Tonight, as the world slows, she finds comfort in stillness, and in the quiet beauty of a life lived with care, gratitude, and gentle purpose. A soft glow illuminates a shelf lined with carefully stacked linens, a testament to years of patient handiwork. She selects a small cloth, the weave tight and even, and smooths it over her lap. Its texture is familiar, cool, finely spun flax, worked to a silken softness with countless washings. The scent of lye soap lingers in its fibers, mingled now with the faintest trace of rosewater. She folds it with deliberate care, recalling the lessons of her youth when her mother taught her the art of folding, pressing, and storing such precious cloths. Each fold is a memory, each pressed edge a prayer for future abundance. Outside, the snow deepens, muffling even the sound of distant footsteps. Within these stone walls, the world is contained, safe, warm, and brimming with the gentle magic of quiet routine. The lady glances at a small writing desk tucked beneath the window, its surface cluttered with parchment, ink, and a half-finished letter addressed to a friend in a distant village. The quill, made from a goose feather, feels light and familiar in her hand. She dips it into the inkwell, watching the ink pool midnight blue, shimmering faintly in the candlelight. Her handwriting is graceful yet strong, the letters flowing as memories return, evenings spent with her friend, laughter echoing beneath the lindens, shared secrets whispered in the stillness of the orchard. She writes of the first snow, the hush it brings, the comfort of small tasks. Her words are carefully chosen, gentle, evocative, a bridge across the miles. Sealing the letter with a dollop of beeswax and the impression of a tiny rose, she feels a sense of connection, love woven through every line. Above, the cottage beams are hung with bundles of dried herbs and flowers: lavender, sage, rosehips, and marjoram, their colors muted by time. The lady-in-waiting lowers a bunch, fingers brushing the papery petals, releasing a fragrant cloud that fills the room with memories of midsummer. She crumbles a few sprigs of marjoram into a wooden bowl, mixing them with dried cherries and a spoonful of honey for a simple compote. The sound of the spoon against the bowl is a soft, comforting counterpoint to the snow's hush. She savors each bite, the tartness of cherry softened by the sweetness of honey, the marjoram adding a gentle, peppery warmth. In the stillness, she is both present and rooted, her life a tapestry of simple pleasures, each moment lovingly stitched into the fabric of her days. A woven basket rests by the hearth, filled with skeins of wool in every shade of the Provenal landscape-soaked gold, olive green, lavender blue. She selects a ball of soft, creamy wool and begins to wind it into a neat ball, her hands moving rhythmically. The wool is warm and lanolin-rich, its scent reminiscent of sheep grazing on distant hillsides. She remembers the shepherdess who tended them, her laughter ringing out across the fields, her kindness in every skein. Tonight, the lady-in-waiting will begin a new project, a pair of fingerless mitts for the youngest scullery maid, whose hands are always red with cold. The act of giving, of creating warmth for another, fills her heart with a quiet joy. The snow continues to fall outside, but within these walls, there is only the gentle promise of comfort and care. The flickering firelight reveals the delicate tracery of frost upon the window pane, each crystal a work of art. The lady-in-waiting studies the patterns, their intricacy inspiring her next embroidery motif. She sketches lightly on a scrap of parchment, her pencil gliding in graceful arcs, an echo of nature's patient hand. The cat stirs in its basket, stretching luxuriously before curling into a tighter ball, content in the warmth and peace of the cottage. The lady pours a second cup of herbal tea, this time adding a sliver of candied ginger for gentle heat. The taste is sweet and spicy, the warmth spreading through her chest. In this moment, she reflects on the quiet abundance of her life's small comforts, loving friendships, the steady rhythm of seasons turning. The world outside may freeze, but inside, her heart is at ease. The gentle creak of a rocking chair provides a soothing counterpoint to the hush outside. The lady-in-waiting settles into its embrace, a quilt draped over her knees. The quilt is patchworked from scraps of old gowns and linens, each square a piece of memory, a wedding feast, a festival dance, the blue of a childhood dress. She runs her fingers over the stitches, recalling the hands that made them sisters, aunts, friends now scattered across the countryside. The chair rocks with a comforting rhythm, keeping time with her heartbeat. She gazes at the fire, its orange glow mirrored in the polished brass candlesticks upon the mantel. The snow falls softly, steadfast and silent, wrapping the world in a cocoon of peace. The lady breathes deeply, the simple beauty of her surroundings filling her with gratitude and quiet contentment. A small, hand-forged bell hangs by the door, a gift from a traveling tinker, its surface etched with tiny stars. The lady-in-waiting rings it gently, calling to the kitchen for a pitcher of warm milk. The bell's tone is clear and pure, a sound that carries comfort and familiarity through the thickening snow. As she waits, she reflects on the kindness of neighbors who share their bounty, the cheesemaker who brings soft rounds of goat's cheese, the gardener who offers plump winter apples. Every exchange is a thread in the fabric of community, a reminder that even in solitude, she is never truly alone. The pitcher arrives, warm and fragrant, the milk flecked with cinnamon and honey. She pours a cup, sipping slowly, savoring the creamy sweetness and the knowledge that every ingredient has its own story, its own gentle history. The lady opens a small painted box, revealing an assortment of buttons and beads, tiny treasures collected over many years. She chooses a pearl button, smooth and cool beneath her thumb, and sews it carefully onto her gown. Each stitch is a meditation, a prayer for enduring beauty and usefulness. As she works, she recalls the hands that made these beads, fisherwomen beside the southern coast, children stringing them into necklaces for village fairs. The act of mending and adorning is not just a task, but a celebration of renewal, of finding beauty in what is worn and well-loved. Outside, the snow continues to fall, each flake unique, each one a tiny act of wonder. Inside, with every stitch and every thoughtful embellishment, the cottage becomes more herself, a sanctuary of quiet, creative care. A small window in the cottage looks out onto the orchard, now transformed by the snowfall into a realm of silver and pearl. The branches of apple and pear trees are frosted in white, their forms softened by the snow's gentle embrace. The lady-in-waiting watches as a robin flits from branch to branch, its red breast a bright spark against the muted landscape. She remembers gathering fruit in autumn, the laughter of young maids, the sweet scent of ripening pears. Tonight, the orchard sleeps, its promise hidden beneath the snow, waiting for spring's return. The lady lights another candle, placing it in the window as a beacon for any traveler caught in the storm, a silent gesture of welcome, a reminder that kindness can shine even in the darkest season. A lull drapes itself gently over the cottage. The lady-in-waiting sits quietly, hands folded in her lap, eyes closed. The only sounds are the steady breathing of the cat, the fire's low crackle, and the near-silent drift of snow upon the slate roof above. She lets herself drift into memory, recalling childhood winters, when she and her sisters pressed tiny footprints into fresh snow, laughter ringing through the crisp air. Her mother's voice, soft and melodious, returns like a lullaby, tales of long-ago queens, gentle guardians, and the enduring power of kindness. The lady lets these memories settle, each one a comfort, each one woven into her very being. In this gentle pause, she allows herself to rest, spirit quiet, heart full, knowing that tomorrow will bring new beauty and gentle tasks to cherish. The snow outside deepens, its silence profound and complete. Inside, the lady-in-waiting turns her attention to a basket of apples, their skins a mix of black and gold, gathered from the orchard just weeks before the first frost. She selects one, feeling its cool weight in her hand, and begins to peel it with a small, bone-handled knife. The peel falls in a single, curling ribbon, the scent of fresh apple mingling with the warm aromas of the cottage. She slices the fruit thinly, arranging it on a plate beside a wedge of soft cheese and a handful of walnuts. Each bite is a celebration, a taste of autumn preserved, a reminder that every season holds its own quiet abundance. She savors the flavors slowly, grateful for the gentle continuity of nature's gifts. A rush-strewn floor offers a soft, earthy cushion beneath her feet. The rushes are scented with dried thyme, gathered from the hillsides beyond the village. Each step releases a subtle fragrance, a whisper of summer, now woven into winter's hush. The lady-in-waiting pauses to straighten the rushes, smoothing them with careful hands, her fingertips tracing their fine, straw-like texture. She recalls gathering them with friends in early autumn, laughter echoing under the wide Provençal sky. The memory is warm and golden, a gentle balm against the cold. She takes a moment to tidy the hearth, stacking wood and sweeping ashes, each movement slow and mindful. The act is meditative, grounding her in the present, reminding her that every task, no matter how small, can be performed with love. A gentle breeze stirs at the window, carrying with it the faintest trace of wood smoke and the crisp scent of snow. The lady-in-waiting draws the thick woolen curtains, embroidered with wildflowers and curling vines, shutting out the cold night while keeping the beauty of nature close. The fabric is heavy in her hands, the stitches neat and even a testament to long winter evenings spent in quiet company, needle and thread weaving stories across the cloth. As she releases the curtain, the room becomes cozier still, the fire's glow reflected in polished pewter and the soft sheen of oiled wood. She sighs in contentment, grateful for the shelter of stone and wool, for the steady warmth of hearth and home, and for the gentle beauty that endures through every season. A wooden bowl holds a small collection of polished stones, each one smooth and cool to the touch, collected during summer walks along the riverbank. The lady-in-waiting selects a pale, moon-white stone, pressing it to her cheek. Its chill is soothing, a reminder of flowing water and sunlight on skin. She arranges the stones upon the windowsill, creating a tiny tableau that echoes the snowy landscape outside: white stone for snow, green for the new leaves yet to come, rose quartz for hope. This small ritual connects her to the world beyond her cottage walls, to the rhythms of the earth and the gentle, patient passage of time. She smiles softly, feeling the calm settle within her, like snow falling quietly upon still water. The night deepens, and the cottage glows steady and warm. The lady-in-waiting stirs a pot of porridge over the fire, adding a drizzle of honey and a sprinkle of dried currants. The aroma is simple and wholesome, filling the air with a promise of comfort. She ladles the porridge into a ceramic bowl, its glaze a deep, mossy green, and sits at the small wooden table to eat. Each mouthful is creamy and sweet, a gentle reminder of the shepherd's care, the bees' work, the sun that ripened the grain. She feels a quiet gratitude for all the unseen hands that have contributed to her meal. As she eats, she gazes at the snow outside, content in the knowledge that she is safe, warm, and deeply connected to the gentle, ongoing story of her home. A tangle of ivy climbs the outer wall of the cottage, its leaves now dusted with silver. The lady-in-waiting remembers winding the ivy through her hair on festival days, the green against her dark braids a symbol of hope and renewal. Tonight, she braids a strand of silk ribbon into her hair, her fingers nimble and sure. The ribbon is sky blue, a remnant from a discarded gown, its color still vibrant. She catches her reflection in a small polished mirror, cheeks flushed from the fire, eyes bright with contentment. The simple act of self-adornment is a quiet affirmation of her own worth and beauty. She tucks a sprig of dried lavender behind her ear, the scent calming and sweet. In this gentle moment, she honors herself, embracing the peace and kindness she extends to others. A wooden spinning wheel sits in the corner, its spokes gleaming in the firelight. The lady-in-waiting approaches, setting wool upon the spindle, her hands moving with practiced ease. The soft hum of the wheel fills the cottage, a gentle counterpoint to the snow's hush. She draws the wool through her fingers, twisting and spinning, feeling the transformation from loose fiber to strong, even thread. The process is soothing, grounding her in the present, connecting her to generations of women who have spun and woven in the quiet hours of winter. The finished thread will become cloth, then garments, then cherished keepsakes, each one a testament to patience and skill. The lady smiles, knowing that her labor is both practical and beautiful, a quiet act of love woven into every strand. On the mantelpiece, a small vase holds a spray of dried roses, their petals faded to a delicate blush. The lady-in-waiting adds a sprig of rosemary, its green fresh against the muted pink. The scent drifts through the room clean, sharp, and reassuring. She remembers the summer garden, the hum of bees, the warmth of sun on her shoulders. Each flower is a memory preserved, a piece of beauty saved for winter's depths. She arranges the vase with care, turning each stem to catch the light. This act, though small, brings a sense of order and joy to her evening. The snow continues to fall outside, but within the cottage, the flowers remind her that every season brings its own gifts, its own moments of grace and gentle wonder. The lady-in-waiting sits at her table, a small basket of walnuts and hazelnuts at her elbow. She cracks the shells with a smooth river stone, savoring the sound, the gentle tap and satisfying snap. The nuts are sweet and earthy, their flavor rich with the memory of autumn. She sets aside a handful for the morning's porridge, then gathers the shells for the fire, where they will add a faint, smoky aroma to the cottage air. Each action is performed with care, each choice a quiet celebration of the resources at hand. She thinks of the villagers who gathered the nuts, their laughter carried on the wind, their hands red from the cold. In this moment, she feels a kinship with all who share in the gentle work of preparing for winter, each contribution a note in the symphony of daily life. A gentle lull settles within the cottage, the rhythm of chores giving way to stillness. The lady-in-waiting stretches, feeling the pleasant ache of well-used muscles. She pours the last of her tea, the coolness of the cup a contrast to the warmth of the drink. The snow outside falls in thick, feathery silence, blanketing roof and garden alike. She leans her head against the back of her chair, closing her eyes, listening to the subtle symphony within, cats purr, fires crackle, the distant, gentle tolling of the evening bell. In this lull, she allows her breath to slow, her heart to soften. She is at peace, cocooned within the gentle rhythms of her life, grateful for the quiet beauty found not in grand gestures, but in the slow unfolding of each ordinary, extraordinary day. On a shelf above the hearth, a row of clay pots holds winter's store of preserved fruits, plums, pears, and quince, their colors muted and golden. The lady-in-waiting removes the lid from one, releasing a fragrance of honey and spice. She spoons a little into a dish, savoring the texture soft, yielding, and delicately sweet. The taste is layered, the floral note of quince, the warmth of cinnamon, the tang of preserved lemon. She recalls the long afternoon spent in the castle's kitchen, stirring bubbling pots with her fellow maids, laughter and song filling the air. The memory is as sweet as the fruit, a reminder that even simple labors can bring joy when shared among friends. The lady smiles, grateful for the bonds woven through each season, each meal, each gentle act of care. A small, leather-bound book rests on the table, its pages filled with recipes, herbal remedies, and household wisdom passed down through generations of women. The lady-in-waiting runs her fingers over the embossed cover, feeling the raised pattern of leaves and vines. She opens the book, reading aloud in a soft whisper, "For restful sleep, brew a tisane of chamomile, mint, and a touch of sweet marjoram." She closes her eyes, picturing the women before her, mothers, grandmothers, wise women of the village, all tending to their loved ones with patience and skill. The words are a balm, a gentle invocation of the knowledge and strength that underpin her peaceful life. She marks her place with a pressed violet, then closes the book, its wisdom settling in her heart like a warm embrace. A woven basket of eggs sits upon the windowsill, the shells pale brown and speckled cream. The lady-in-waiting selects one, marveling at its smooth, cool surface. She cracks it into a small bowl, the yolk a rich gold, and whisks it with a splash of milk and a pinch of salt. The mixture sizzles gently in a skillet over the fire, the aroma rising, warm and familiar. She stirs slowly, watching as the curds form, then serves herself a modest portion. Each bite is simple and sustaining, a celebration of the hen's quiet gift, of the cycle of nourishment that binds her to the land. She eats slowly, mindful of the present moment, grateful for the abundance that flows from patient care and gentle stewardship. The lady-in-waiting lingers by the window, watching snowflakes spiral through the air, each one unique and fleeting. She traces a pattern in the frost upon the pane, a spiral, a flower, a memory of summer's bloom. The glass is cool beneath her fingertips, a delicate barrier between warmth and winter's breath. She thinks of the children in the village, their laughter bright in the snowy lanes, their mittens trailing ribbons and smiles. She remembers helping to sew those mittens, her stitches small and sure, each one a wish for warmth and happiness. The memory brings a gentle ache of longing, a tenderness for all the lives that touch hers, however briefly. In this quiet moment, she feels herself part of something larger, a tapestry woven from countless threads of love and care. A slender vase holds a spray of winter holly, its berries bright against a backdrop of dark green leaves. The lady-in-waiting arranges the stems with care, their glossy surfaces catching the firelight. She runs her fingers over the jagged edges, feeling the strength and resilience hidden within each leaf. The holly is a symbol of hope, of beauty that endures even when the world is cold and bare. She places the vase beside her bed, a promise of life's persistence, of spring's return. The snow outside deepens, but within her heart, a quiet flame burns steady, hopeful, undimmed by winter's chill. She settles beneath her woolen blankets, comforted by the knowledge that even in darkness, there is always beauty to be found, always gentle strength to carry her through. The lady-in-waiting takes up her embroidery once more, the golden thread catching the firelight as it loops and twists through the linen. She chooses a new motif for snowflake, intricate and delicate, echoing the silent dancers outside her window. Each stitch is a moment of mindfulness, a way of honoring the beauty she sees around her. The cat purrs softly, paws twitching in sleep, a living embodiment of peace. She reaches over to stroke its fur, marveling at the softness, the warmth, the gentle rise and fall of its breath. In this quiet companionship, she finds solace and joy. The world outside is vast and cold, but within this small cottage, love is woven into every corner, every gentle task, every shared moment of stillness and care. A tray of dried orange slices sits near the hearth, their color warm and vibrant against the muted tones of winter. The lady-in-waiting selects a slice, savoring the tangy scent and the memory of sunlit days. She adds a few slices to a small pot of water, along with a stick of cinnamon and a handful of cloves. As the pot simmers on the fire, the cottage fills with a fragrant steam, bright, spicy, and sweet. The scent reminds her of the feast days, when the great hall would be filled with laughter and music, tables laden with fruits and spices from distant lands. Tonight, she celebrates quietly, letting the aroma transport her to memories of joy and abundance. She sits back, cradling her teacup, grateful for the warmth, for the memories, and for the gentle peace of this night. A gentle brush of snow sifts down from the eaves, landing softly upon the sill and melting into droplets that glisten in the candlelight. The lady-in-waiting watches the transformation, marveling at nature's quiet artistry. She recalls her lessons in the castle's library, the illuminated manuscripts that depicted the changing seasons, the slow, graceful dance of time. The memory brings comfort, a reminder that all things pass, that winter's stillness will one day yield to spring's awakening. She lights another candle, its flame steady and true, a small defiance against the gathering dark. The light casts gentle patterns upon the walls, turning the cottage into a sanctuary of warmth and hope. She leans back, letting herself be soothed by the beauty of the moment, the knowledge that she is held within the gentle embrace of season and story. A scrap of parchment sits upon the table, a list written in careful script, tasks to be done, herbs to be gathered, letters to be sent. The lady-in-waiting reviews each line, feeling the quiet satisfaction of a day well spent. She adds a note, thank Maud for the honeycomb, remembering her friend's generous gift, the sweetness shared between kindred spirits. She places the list beneath a smooth river stone, her mind at ease, her heart light. The world outside may be frozen and still, but within these walls, life continues simple, purposeful, and full of gentle meaning. She smiles, grateful for the order and care that shape her days, for the small rituals that give each moment its own quiet beauty. The evening deepens, and the cottage becomes a world unto itself, safe, warm, and filled with the gentle music of daily life. The lady-in-waiting hums a soft tune, her voice blending with the crackle of the fire and the whisper of falling snow. She thinks of her mother, singing the same song on winter nights, her hands busy with needlework, her heart full of hope. The melody is simple, a lullaby for herself, for the cat, for the world outside. She closes her eyes, letting the music carry her, feeling the threads of connection that bind her to generations past and future. The snow falls on, silent and steadfast, a benediction upon the sleeping village, a promise of renewal and peace. A small wooden chest, carved with ivy and roses, holds a collection of cherished letters, their edges soft with age. The lady-in-waiting opens the chest, selecting a letter tied with a faded blue ribbon. She unties the knot, unfolding the parchment to reveal the delicate, looping script of a childhood friend. The words speak of distant hills, of shared dreams and gentle adventures, of days spent gathering wildflowers and weaving crowns of daisies. The letter is a treasury, a bridge across time and distance, a reminder of the enduring bonds of friendship. She reads it slowly, savoring each memory, letting the warmth of affection settle in her heart. As she refolds the parchment, she whispers a quiet blessing for her friend, wishing her peace and happiness beneath the same snowy sky. The lady-in-waiting tends to her small indoor garden pots of rosemary, thyme, and chives, their leaves bright and fragrant against the winter gloom. She waters each one with care, her touch gentle and sure. The scent rises, green and clean, filling the room with a promise of renewal. She trims a few sprigs for tomorrow's stew, placing them in a bowl beside the hearth. Each plant is a companion, a reminder that life endures even in the coldest season. She thinks of the walled garden beyond the cottage, now sleeping beneath its blanket of snow, and dreams of spring, of new growth, of flowers and bees, of the gentle, unstoppable surge of life. In this small act of tending, she finds hope and the quiet assurance that beauty will always return. The gentle clink of a wooden spoon against an earthenware bowl marks the beginning of her preparations for tomorrow's bread. The lady-in-waiting measures out flour, its texture soft and powdery, cool against her skin. She adds a pinch of salt, a handful of caraway seeds, and a measure of yeast, each ingredient a gift from the land and community. She stirs slowly, feeling the dough come together, its warmth rising beneath her hands. The process is familiar, comforting, a daily ritual that grounds her in the present. She covers the bowl with a linen cloth, setting it near the hearth to rise. The knowledge that tomorrow's nourishment has already begun brings her a quiet satisfaction, a gentle, sustaining hope that endures through every season. The lady-in-waiting lights a sprig of dried sage, letting the fragrant smoke curl through the cottage, a gentle blessing for the night ahead. The scent is sharp and cleansing, a familiar comfort against the darkness. She traces a pattern in the air, a silent prayer for peace, for health, for dreams sweet and untroubled. The cat watches with half-closed eyes, content in the warmth and safety of the cottage. The snow outside has slowed, the world settling into stillness. Within these walls, there is only comfort, only the gentle unfolding of a life lived with care. The lady breathes deeply, letting the scent and the silence fill her, preparing herself for the gentle rest that awaits. A lull returns, deeper and more profound. The lady-in-waiting sits quietly by the fire, the embers glowing red and gold. She wraps herself in a woolen shawl, its weave loose and soft, the color of dusk. The shawl was a gift from an old friend, each stitch a testament to love and patience. She leans back, letting her thoughts wander over snow-covered fields, along silent lanes, into the warm embrace of memory. The world narrows to a single, quiet moment, breath, warmth, the soft brush of wool against her cheek. The snow falls on, gentle and unhurried, the night deepening. She allows herself to drift, carried by the steady rhythm of heart and hearth, safe within the gentle sanctuary of her own making. A small wooden flute rests upon the mantel, its surface worn smooth by years of use. The lady-in-waiting raises it to her lips, playing a simple melodia tune learned long ago, soothing and sweet. The notes rise and fall, mingling with the fire's gentle crackle, echoing through the quiet cottage. The music is a balm, a bridge between now and then, between her own gentle solitude and the wider world. She recalls playing for the children in the village, their eyes wide with wonder, their laughter bright as candlelight. Tonight, she plays for herself, for the cat, for the falling snow, a lullaby for all that is gentle and good. The melody drifts on, soft and slow, carrying her deeper into the peace of the evening. The candlelight throws soft shadows upon the walls, transforming the cottage into a world of gold and amber. The lady-in-waiting traces the patterns with her eyes: leaves and vines, birds in flight, the gentle swirl of snow. The world outside is muted, wrapped in silver and silence, but within, every surface glows with warmth. She sips a final cup of milk, honeyed and fragrant, letting the sweetness linger on her tongue. The taste is a memory of summer off fields in bloom, of sun on stone, of laughter and song. She sighs softly, content in the simple pleasures that fill her days. The snow falls on, gentle and unwavering, a benediction upon the world. She gives thanks for the quiet, for the light, for the gentle sanctuary of her home. A hand-woven rug, dyed in the ochre and indigo of Provenal earth and sky, lies beneath her feet. The lady-in-waiting runs her toes along its intricate patterns, feeling the softness and the strength in every thread. The rug was a gift from a neighboring weaver, its design inspired by local fields in bloom. She recalls the long afternoon spent carding wool, spinning and dyeing, sharing stories and laughter as the loom clacked rhythmically. Each knot and pattern is a memory, a piece of community woven into her daily life. The rug grounds her, a reminder of the beauty that can be created from patient hands and shared dreams. She smiles, grateful for the quiet beauty that fills her home, for the gentle connections that sustain her through winter's cold. A faint breeze stirs the air, carrying with it the scent of snow and wood smoke. The lady-in-waiting pulls her shawl more tightly around her shoulders, feeling the gentle weight settle. She moves to the window, wiping away a patch of frost with her sleeve. Outside, the world is transformed: rooftops soft with snow, trees dusted in silver, the lane a ribbon of pale blue beneath the moon. She watches a lantern bob in the distance, a villager making their way home. The sight fills her with a sense of connection, of belonging to a wider circle of gentle souls. She closes the curtain, returning to the warmth of the fire, her heart light and full of quiet hope. The snow continues to fall, a silent blessing upon all who dwell within its gentle embrace. The lady-in-waiting gathers her embroidery, her spinning, her well-loved book, placing each item in its proper place. The cottage becomes a haven of order and calm, every surface clean and cared for, every object imbued with purpose. She takes a moment to brush her hair, each stroke slow and deliberate, the bristles gliding through dark waves. The ritual is soothing, a gentle end to the day, a reminder to care for herself as she does for others. She braids her hair loosely, tying it with a ribbon the color of twilight. The cat stretches, its fur warm from the fire, and settles at her feet. The lady smiles, feeling the peace settle in her bones, knowing that every task, every gentle ritual, has prepared her for the deep rest that awaits. A small, painted icon hangs beside the hearth, a Madonna cradling a sleepy child, her robe a river of blue and gold. The lady-in-waiting lights a candle before it, whispering a soft prayer for protection and peace. The flame glows steady, casting a gentle halo upon the wall. She remembers her grandmother's stories of miracles and gentle guardians, of faith woven through daily life like a thread of gold. Tonight, she feels that presence near, a quiet assurance that she is watched over, loved, and never truly alone. The snow outside falls ever more softly, the world held in a hush of sacred stillness. The lady lets the peace settle within her, heart open, spirit calm, ready to surrender herself to the gentle rhythms of sleep. The hearth's embers glow a deep, steady red, their heat radiating through the room in slow, comforting waves. The lady-in-waiting stirs the ashes, coaxing the last warmth from the fire. The smell is ancient and familiar: charred wood, faint sweet smoke, a memory of countless winter nights. She sets a small pot of water near the embers, letting it warm for her morning tea. The act is a promise to herself, a gentle assurance that comfort will greet her at the break of day. She listens to the wind outside, its voice soft and low, a lullaby for the sleeping village. The world is wrapped in silence, the snow forming a blanket over all. Inside, the lady draws her shawl tighter, her soul soothed by the steady glow and the promise of rest. A hand-stitched sampler hangs above her bed, its threads faded but strong flowers, birds, and the words "Peace be with thee." The lady-in-waiting runs her fingers across the stitches, feeling the love and care that went into every letter. The sampler was made by her own mother, the pattern learned from her grandmother before her. Each generation adds its own motif, its own note in the song of their family. The lady sighs, feeling the comfort of that long chain of hands and hearts. She climbs into bed, the linen sheets cool and smooth, the woolen blankets soft and heavy. The cat hops up beside her, purring contentedly. The snow falls on, gentle and unwavering, a lullaby for the weary, a promise of peace and renewal. The lady-in-waiting opens the small window for a moment, letting in a breath of night air. It smells of snow, of distant pine, of the cold purity that comes only with the first fall. She listens to the silence beyond, broken only by the occasional creak of branches or the faint hoot of an owl. The air is bracing, clearing her mind, sharpening her senses. She closes the window and returns to bed, shivering for a moment before the blankets reclaim her warmth. The cat settles beside her, a living comfort, its fur soft and warm. The candlelight flickers, casting long shadows that seem to dance across the walls. She sighs deeply, letting go of the day, her heart full of gratitude for the gentle, contemplative beauty of her life. A gentle lull settles over the cottage, deeper than before. The lady-in-waiting lies still, listening to the quiet symphony around her, the steady drip of melting snow from the eaves, the rhythmic purr of the cat, her own slow breath. She imagines the snowfall continuing outside, covering the village, the fields, the distant hills, turning the world into a place of purity and peace. In her mind's eye, she sees her friends and neighbors safe in their homes, fires burning, bread baking, laughter rising in warm kitchens. She lets herself drift, carried by the gentle tide of memory and hope, trusting that tomorrow will dawn bright and new. The snow falls on, silent and sure, a gentle benediction upon all who dream beneath its soft embrace. A soft, woolly blanket covers the lady-in-waiting, its weight a gentle reassurance. The blanket is hand-woven, dyed with walnut and madder, its pattern a memory of autumn's warmth. She draws it up to her chin, feeling the softness against her cheek, the steady warmth spreading through her limbs. The cat needs the blanket before settling, its purring a steady, soothing rhythm. Outside, the snow continues its silent descent, each flake a tiny marvel, a work of art in miniature. The lady lets her thoughts drift to spring, the first crocus pushing through thawing earth, the scent of violets, the song of the nightingale. But for now, she is content to rest, to be held in winter's gentle embrace, to find beauty and comfort in the quiet unfolding of this peaceful night. A small shelf beside the bed holds a collection of treasures: smooth pebbles from the river, a feather from a wild dove, a tiny, hand-painted box. The lady-in-waiting turns the box in her hands, admiring the miniature roses and curling vines painted upon its lid. Inside, she keeps a lock of her mother's hair, tied with a narrow ribbon, and a pressed pansy from the garden. These are her talismans, her reminders of love and continuity, of the bonds that sustain her through every season. She places the box beside her pillow, comforted by its presence. The snow falls on, silent and steady, the world outside reduced to silver and shadow. Within her heart, a quiet joy blooms, the joy of belonging, of loving and being loved, of finding sanctuary within the simple, gentle rhythms of her days. The candles burn low, their flames small and unwavering. The lady-in-waiting watches the dance of light and shadow upon the plastered ceiling, the patterns soothing in their gentle repetition. She lets her breath slow, her mind drifting upon the gentle tide of memory and imagination. She recalls a long-ago festival, lanterns strung through the orchard, music and laughter echoing beneath the stars. The memory is soft and golden, a gentle lullaby for her weary spirit. She holds it close, letting the joy and love of the past infuse her dreams. Outside, the snow continues to fall, the world growing quieter with every passing moment. Within the cottage, peace reigns deep, gentle, and absolute. A lull settles, deeper than before. The lady-in-waiting lies in bed, cocooned in warmth and comfort. The room is a world of soft light, gentle shadows, and the quiet companionship of the cat. She listens to the slow, steady heartbeat of the night, the crackle of dying embers, the faint sigh of wind against the cottage walls, the distant, comforting toll of a church bell. Her breathing slows, matching the calm rhythm of the world outside. The snow falls on, blanketing the cottage, the village, the fields, wrapping everything in a gentle promise of renewal. The lady closes her eyes, surrendering herself to rest, trusting in the quiet, steady flow of life's gentle tide. The final candle flickers low, its light a golden thread upon the walls. The lady-in-waiting watches the flame, mesmerized by its gentle dance. The room is filled with a profound stillness, the only sound the soft, rhythmic purr of the cat and the distant hush of snow against the windowpane. She lets her mind drift, following the patterns of the light as they blur and fade. Each breath is a lullaby, each heartbeat a gentle reassurance. The snow falls on, silent and steadfast, cloaking the world in purity and peace. Within the cottage, time slows, every moment stretching into eternity. The lady closes her eyes, her body growing heavy, her spirit light as snow, ready to drift into the sweetest of dreams. A deep, peaceful silence settles in the cottage, interrupted only by the soft sound of the lady-in-waiting's slow, steady breath. The last glimmer of candlelight shimmers upon her face, casting a gentle glow that softens every feature. The air is cool and still, carrying the faintest scent of lavender and sage. The snow outside muffles every distant sound, wrapping the world in an embrace of quiet and safety. The cat, curled at her feet, purrs on, its warmth a steady comfort. Every heartbeat is a whisper, every breath a gentle tide. The lady sinks further into her bed, letting go of every care, her thoughts dissolving into the hush of the night, as sleep approaches, gentle and unhurried. The lady-in-waiting's dreams begin to unfurl, soft and luminous as the snow outside. In her dream, she walks through the silent orchard, the trees laced with frost, their branches gleaming in the moonlight. Each step is cushioned by snow, each breath filled with the crisp, clean air of midnight. The hush is absolutely a perfect peace that extends to the farthest corner of her heart. She pauses to gather a handful of snow, marveling at its coolness, the ephemeral beauty of each perfect flake. The dream landscape is gentle and kind, a reflection of her waking life, where every detail is a blessing, every moment a quiet miracle. The lady smiles in her sleep, her spirit at rest, her heart full of gentle wonder. Beneath her blankets, the lady-in-waiting is deeply relaxed. The warmth of the bed, layered linen and wool, is a gentle embrace. The sounds of the world have faded to near nothing, the occasional creak of a timber, the faint settling of snow upon the roof, the soft, rhythmic purring of the cat. Her thoughts float like down feathers, slow and weightless. Images of the day, apples and wool, letters and laughter drift through her mind, softened by the passage into sleep. She feels herself sinking, gently and safely, into the deepest rest. The snow outside continues, silent and unceasing, a lullaby written in white and silver for all who sleep beneath its gentle fall. Time itself slows, the world reduced to the simple, eternal rhythms of breath and heartbeat. The lady-in-waiting's body is heavy, her mind light and free. The air is cool against her cheek, the blankets warm and comforting. The cat shifts, pressing closer, its presence a silent reassurance. Through the window, the snow falls in endless spirals, a dance of light and shadow. Within the cottage, every sound is softened, every light dimmed to a golden haze. The lady's breathing slows, her heart beating in quiet harmony with the world. Sleep deepens, wrapping her in the safety and peace she has created, a sanctuary from all care, a haven of gentle dreams and quiet joy. A gentle, repetitive rhythm envelops the room, the soft tick of a wooden clock, the faint drip of melting snow, the slow, steady purr of the cat. Each sound is a lull, a note in the quiet symphony of night. The lady-in-waiting's hand rests upon her chest, rising and falling with each slow breath. Her thoughts are distant now, drifting upon the tide of sleep. The snow outside continues its silent descent, blanketing the world in peace. The warmth of the bed, the softness of the blankets, the comfort of the cat, these are her last waking sensations, gentle and kind. She surrenders herself completely to rest, trusting in the quiet, steady rhythm of the night. The candle's flame gutters, then steadies, its light reduced to a single, glowing ember. The lady-in-waiting's breath is slow and even, each exhale a whisper upon the air. The cat settles once more, its purr a steady, soothing hum. The snow outside thickens, the world receding into a quiet, endless white. The only movement is the gentle rise and fall of the lady's chest, the slow drift of her dreams. The cottage is a world of stillness, every detail softened by sleep and silence. Within its walls, there is only peace, deep, unwavering, absolute. The lady's spirit floats, weightless and free, embraced by the gentle, unbroken hush of night and snow. The room is filled with the gentle repetition of breath and heartbeat, a lullaby for the soul. The lady-in-waiting's dreams are soft and golden, a meadow in spring, a walk beneath blossoming trees, laughter shared in the shade of a walled garden. Each dream is gentle, free of care, a reflection of the peace she has found in waking life. The snow continues to fall, endless and silent, the world outside reduced to silence and silver. The cat shifts in its sleep, pressing closer to her warmth. The fireplace glows with the last of the embers, casting a faint, drowsy light. The lady is at rest, her heart filled with gratitude, her soul at peace, her body surrendered to the quiet embrace of sleep. A deep, repetitive stillness settles over the cottage. The lady-in-waiting's breath and the cat's purring are the only sounds, merging in a gentle, soothing duet. The snow outside drifts thicker, its fall steady, its hush profound. The world is reduced to the essentials: warmth, softness, safety, rest. The lady's dreams are slow and sweet memories of hands weaving, voices murmuring, the taste of honey, the scent of lavender. Her body is heavy, her mind light, floating on the rhythm of the night. The candle's glow fades to a golden haze, every shadow gentle, every sound softened. Sleep carries her deeper, each moment a quiet affirmation of peace and belonging. The snow continues, its fall relentless and gentle, a benediction upon the world. The cottage is still, the only movement the slow, steady breathing of its occupants. The lady-in-waiting drifts between sleep and waking, her thoughts a quiet river, untroubled and deep. The warmth of the bed, the softness of the blankets, the presence of the cat all blend into a seamless comfort. Through the window, the world is a painting in white and silver, endlessly soft and still. The lady's breath slows further, her heart settled, her spirit at rest. She is held in the quiet, nurturing embrace of her home and the gentle, falling snow. The final lull of the night is deep and complete. The lady-in-waiting lies still, her body utterly relaxed, her mind surrendered to sleep. The world beyond the cottage has faded, the snow, the village, the distant hills all reduced to a quiet, endless peace. The only reality is warmth, softness, and the gentle music of breath and purr. The candle's flame trembles, then steadies, its light a last beacon in the hush of night. The cat breathes softly, content in the safety of the bed. The lady's hand rests lightly on her chest, her dreams untroubled, her heart full of gratitude. The snow falls on, silent and sure, a blessing upon the world and all who slumber within its gentle embrace. The stillness in the cottage is profound, a silence so deep it seems the world is holding its breath. The lady-in-waiting lies motionless beneath her blankets, the steady rise and fall of her breath the only sign of life. The warmth of the cat against her feet is a gentle reminder of companionship and love. Outside, the snow continues its silent descent, the landscape transformed into a realm of pure, untouched beauty. Each flake lands softly upon the roof, adding to the thick, insulating cover that muffles every sound. Within the cottage, the peace is absolute, the worries of the day dissolved, the only reality a boundless sense of safety and repose. The lady is held in the gentle arms of night, her spirit floating free. Another minute passes, and the rhythm of sleep deepens. The lady-in-waiting's body is heavy, her mind a quiet ocean, undisturbed by even the smallest ripple of thought. The cat stirs, then settles once more, its breathing synchronized with hers. The candle flickers low, its light a soft golden blush upon the wall. Outside, the snow falls in endless spirals, each flake unique, each one a tiny perfection. The world beyond the cottage no longer intrudes, there is only this warm, safe haven, this sanctuary of gentle rest. The lady's dreams drift further, dissolving into light and warmth, a never-ending lullaby that carries her toward dawn. The silence grows deeper, layered with comfort and stillness. The lady-in-waiting lies cocooned in wool and linen, every muscle relaxed, every worry forgotten. The snow outside is a silent audience, its descent unbroken and pure. The cat's purr is a steady, grounding presence, a beacon of peace in the quiet. The air is cool, the blankets warm, every sensation a gentle invitation to rest. The candle's flame dances low, casting slow-moving shadows upon the walls. The lady's thoughts are slow and gentle, images of garden paths and sunlit meadows drifting through her mind. She surrenders to the rhythm of sleep, her heart at ease, her spirit quietly joyful. The world is a place of infinite softness and quiet. The lady-in-waiting's breath is the tide, slow and sure, rising and falling in perfect rhythm. The snow continues to fall, blanketing the cottage, the village, the fields beyond, everywhere touched by its gentle hand. The room grows darker as the candle wanes, the shadows deepening and merging until only the faintest glow remains. The cat sighs in its sleep, a sound of utter contentment. The lady's mind is a field of stillness, her dreams as soft as eiderdown, her heart cradled by the safety of her home. She floats, weightless, in the embrace of night, her soul at rest. The candle's final light flickers, then fades, leaving the room in complete darkness, save for the glow of embers in the hearth. The lady-in-waiting is unaware, her consciousness adrift on the gentle tides of sleep. The cat is a warm presence at her side, their breaths rising and falling in quiet harmony. The snow outside falls in silence, the world reduced to shadow and hush. Within the cottage, there is only safety, only the soft, endless rhythm of night. The lady dreams of spring violets and songbirds, of laughter and sunlight, but for now she is content in winter's gentle hold, trusting in the promise of dawn. A deep, repetitive calm fills the cottage. The lady-in-waiting sleeps soundly, her mind and body at one with the quiet of the world. The cat shifts slightly, kneading the blankets, its purring a gentle vibration in the silence. Outside, the snow continues, each flake a benediction, each one landing with the softest of sighs. The embers in the hearth glow faintly, casting a last warmth over the room. The air is still, the world at peace. The lady's dreams are slow and soothing, dappled sunlight, the murmur of a brook, the gentle laughter of friends. Every moment is a repetition, an affirmation of the beauty and safety found in simple, honest living. The stillness is profound, the silence complete. The lady-in-waiting is deeply asleep, her dreams soft and benign, flowers blooming, bees buzzing, the rhythmic click of needles, the taste of honeyed bread. The cat purrs quietly, its body curled in a perfect circle at her feet. The snow outside falls on, undisturbed, the world made new with every passing minute. The candle has guttered, the embers are low, but the warmth of the bed endures, a cocoon of peace. The lady breathes deeply, peacefully, her soul at rest. The night grows ever quieter, every heartbeat a gentle echo of love and gratitude. The snow outside blankets the world, its silence absolute. Within the cottage, the air is thick with warmth and the last traces of beeswax and lavender. The lady-in-waiting's body is still, her breath soft and slow. The cat stretches, then curls once more, content in the safety of the bed. The embers fade, their heat lingering in the wool and cloth that cover her. The world is reduced to essentials: breath, warmth, the gentle press of one soul against another. The lady's dreams are a gentle procession: soft light, loving voices, the slow passage of seasons. Each dream is a repetition, a lull, carrying her deeper into the gentle, unbroken embrace of sleep. The silence inside the cottage is matched only by the silence outside, the snow falling in endless waves, each flake a note in a quiet symphony. The lady-in-waiting's heart beats slowly, her mind at ease, her body deeply relaxed. The cat purrs on, its warmth a gentle anchor. The embers in the hearth lose their glow, darkness settling once more. The air is cool, the blankets warm, every sensation a comfort. The lady's dreams are gentle, slow memories of childhood, of gardens, and laughter, of the quiet joy found in each moment of simple living. She floats on the tide of sleep, secure in the sanctuary she has created. The final lull is long and deep, a repetition of every gentle rhythm that has filled the night. The lady-in-waiting's breath is slow and even, the cat's purr a distant drum. The snow outside falls, muffling the world in endless peace. The embers have cooled, darkness and stillness complete. The lady's dreams are soft and kind: flowers, laughter, the taste of sweet bread, the scent of lavender and sage. She is held in the arms of rest, her heart full of gratitude, her soul at peace. The world turns quietly beneath the snow, every minute a gentle reassurance, every breath a promise of morning yet to come. A gentle repetition of breath and heartbeat fills the room, the only music in the hush of night. The lady-in-waiting is at peace, her body and mind utterly relaxed, her dreams slow and luminous. The cat shifts, sighs, and settles again, its warmth a steady comfort. The snow outside continues, its fall endless and sure. The world is reduced to sensation: warmth, softness, the gentle press of fabric and fur. The lady's spirit is light, drifting on the gentle tide of sleep. There is no hurry, no care, only the quiet unfolding of night, the endless promise of safety and peace. The silence is so deep it becomes a presence, a gentle companion through the darkest hours. The lady-in-waiting's dreams are slow and sweet: her mother's voice, the scent of bread baking, the feel of sun-warmed stone. The cat breathes softly, its purr a low, steady hum. The snow falls on, undisturbed, the world remade with every passing minute. The warmth of the bed, the softness of the blankets, the gentle press of the cat, these are her last waking sensations, as she sinks deeper into sleep. The night is long, but gentle, every moment a quiet assurance that all is well. A slow, repetitive rhythm pervades the lady-in-waiting's breath, the cat's purr, the silent fall of snow. Every sensation is soft, every thought a gentle echo of peace and gratitude. The candle and embers are gone, the only light the faint glow of snow outside. The lady's dreams are a gentle procession: gardens blooming, hands weaving, laughter shared at the hearth. She is wrapped in safety, her body and soul at rest. The world outside is silent and pure, blanketed by snow, protected by the hush of night. Inside, all is quiet, all is gentle, all is peace. Stillness deepens, the world reduced to warmth, softness, and quiet. The lady-in-waiting's body is heavy, her mind light, her spirit at rest. The cat curls closer, its presence a final comfort. The snow outside falls unceasingly, the silence absolute. The bed is a cocoon, the cottage a sanctuary, the night an endless lullaby. The lady's dreams are full of gentle beauty, flowers, sunlight, the laughter of friends, the taste of honey and bread. She surrenders to the rhythm of sleep, trusting in the safety of her home, in the gentle, unbroken peace of night. The final repetition begins: breath, heartbeat, the cat's purr, the fall of snow. The world is soft and quiet, the lady-in-waiting's body deeply at rest. Every muscle is relaxed, every thought dissolved into the gentle night. The cat sighs, shifting in its sleep, its warmth a constant presence. The snow outside falls in endless silence, the world a dream of silver and white. The lady's dreams are gentle and slow, hands weaving, voices singing, the scent of lavender and beeswax, the taste of sweet bread. She is held in the arms of peace, her soul at rest, her heart full of gentle gratitude. Another minute passes in deep, gentle stillness. The lady-in-waiting's breath is slow and deep, her body entirely at ease, her mind surrendered to sleep. The cat's purr is a soft, steady rhythm, a lullaby for the heart. The snow falls on, unbroken and pure, the world outside silent and safe. The cottage is a haven, a sanctuary of warmth and gentle light. The lady's dreams are soft, a garden in bloom, the laughter of children, the taste of bread and honey, the scent of fresh linen. Each repetition carries her deeper into rest, every detail a gentle reassurance that she is safe and loved. The repetition continues: breath, purr, the slow fall of snow. The lady-in-waiting's body is heavy, her mind light, her spirit drifting on the tide of sleep. The cat sighs once more, its warmth a gentle presence. The world outside is unchanged, blanketed in snow, silent and serene. The cottage is still, the only movement the gentle rise and fall of breath. The lady's dreams are soft and kind, a walled garden in spring, a table set for friends, the gentle laughter of children. She is at peace, her heart full of gratitude, her soul floating free in the soft, unbroken night. The night is deep, the silence profound. The lady-in-waiting is completely at rest, her body and mind surrendered to sleep. The cat lies still, a warm anchor at her feet. The snow outside falls on, endless and gentle, the world reduced to softness and shadow. The cottage is a sanctuary, every detail a gentle reassurance. The lady's dreams are of gardens and laughter, of the peace found in simple living, of the beauty woven through every moment of her gentle, contemplative days. Each breath is a lullaby, each heartbeat a promise of dawn and renewal. A final repetition: breath, heartbeat, purr, snow. The cottage is silent and still, the world outside transformed by the gentle fall of snow. The lady-in-waiting is deeply asleep, her body heavy, her mind adrift on the gentle sea of dreams. The cat is a steady comfort, its warmth and presence a balm in the silent night. The snow falls on, the world at peace. The lady's dreams are slow and bright, flowers blooming, laughter shared, the taste of bread and honey, the scent of lavender and beeswax. She is held in the arms of night, her soul at rest, her heart full of peace and gratitude. The final minute is stillness itself. The lady-in-waiting lies in perfect repose, her breath slow and deep, her body utterly relaxed. The cat lies curled beside her, its purr a gentle counterpoint to the silence. Outside, the snow falls endlessly, soft and silent, blanketing the world in white. The cottage is a haven, the night an endless lullaby. Within these walls, there is only peace, gentle, unbroken, complete. the lady's dreams deepen, her spirit floating free, her heart at home in the beauty and safety of her gentle, contemplative life. The snow falls on, silent and steadfast, a benediction upon all who sleep beneath its gentle touch. And so, dear friend, our gentle journey comes to a close. Thank you so very much for spending this peaceful evening with us. We hope this story has brought you comfort, warmth, and the sweetest rest. Until next time, sleep well, and know that another cozy tale awaits you soon. Good night.